welcome back yet again to another edition of the Ohno Wrestling Podcast. Live tonight on Twitch. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be live on our Facebook group, but hey, you can deal with it. I've had to rush home from work. I barely had a chance to sit down, but guess what? It's me. Well, it's me, the Sharp Break Kid, Owen, and it's, of course, you over there, the King of Bong Style, Duncan, and we're here to do a podcast for you. Unfortunately, our prediction champion is not available to be with us tonight, but he was able to be with us last week, Duncan.
And he was able to leave the belt here.
He did. I heard that. It was in typical
champion fashion.
Yeah, typical champion fashion. But he was not only able to do the show with us last week, but he was able to go with us and go to Jacksonville to go see AEW's Dynamite Homecoming, which we will. Oh, we've got frog something titties following us or something now. Thank you, whoever that was.
Frog something titties.
Frog titties. We appreciate you for following us.
It's always fucking good. This up, like.
Yeah. But no. We have a lot to report on that experience. Overall, I had a really good time, but there were some things that Duncan, you did not have such a good time with.
There were look. There were some things.
Overall,
I will say I had a great time.
Yeah.
There were a couple things that both you and I had issue with. The first thing being is like, okay, look. You go to a wrestling show, any show. You expect, nay, you demand that there be an opportunity for you to give your hard-earned money
absolutely
to the company in exchange for merchandise.
Now, and you're a bit of a merch freak, admittedly.
Yeah, I won't even begin to deny that. I'm a whore for merchandise. Like, you give me a good black t-shirt like this one from our friends at Darklight, the Hale Walt shirt.
Nice, love it.
Like, I'm a whore for a good t-shirt. And there were two that I had my heart set on Wednesday. And they were both the same wrestler.
Who was making his in-ring debut that night.
Correct.
That I'm sure a lot of people probably ended up getting tickets to go and see this particular night.
Right. This is what I'm saying. So for us to walk in now, let's set the scene a little bit.
Yeah, because we did have a pretty rough drive. It was when we talk about Florida thunderstorms, this was on the rougher end of the spectrum to drive through.
Yeah, this was less fun than some of them. Also, I was in expert mode because of Owen's shitty brakes in his car.
Yeah. Which I've already made an appointment for, taking care of those on Thursday.
Yeah,
so,
very proud
at least I had the wipers taken care of before.
Yeah, the wipers were great.
Because imagine we could see
that we were about to die.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but luckily, like, I'm just fucking stoned and in the zone.
And you did. You did great, and I thank you for driving both ways, allowing me and Matthew to have some drinks. And
I needed you guys to be in the proper condition because I can just puff on my pen all day long.
And we get there. I would say, well, we were what, 15, 20 minutes later than we would have liked to have been, probably.
Yeah, and I feel like there had been a lot. Problem number one is there was no accurate time.
No, there wasn't.
On the ticket or in the information.
It seems like when they say doors actually means for these shows, that's when they start, like they let people in, but they've already started the first match, dark match, or dark elevation match, whichever one they're pre-recording for, literally as the doors are opening. I do believe that was kind of the case when me and my buddy Scotty went on our last show. It was
Yeah.
literally like we're walking in, there's already a match going. There's no time to even get to your seats, which a little poor
And
planning.
like were you the first people, like some of the first people in there?
We were there waiting in line outside when music was hitting before the gates had opened, the doors had opened. There was music playing inside for the first entrances for the first match.
That's so interesting to me.
Yeah,
Like that
it's
just
backwards
doesn't make
mentality.
It absolutely is a backwards mentality. Like anywhere else you go, there's just going to be like probably music playing. There'll be like
just open the doors at 6:30. Tell us it's at 6:30, and then we'll get a chance to grab a drink, a hot dog, and get to our seats so that by 7 you're watching, some matches. And
yeah, and so like okay, so and you had been to Daly's place before, and you were like, man, Daly's is fucking awesome.
Absolutely.
Like all of the food options are great. There's a ton of this and like that. And I will say I did like the layout of it.
The concourse is kind of beautiful. It's a real nice area, nice amphitheater. Yeah. And I was honestly really excited to show you guys that and just have that experience,
Right. So like
when we get in, we're starving too.
First of all, like, yeah, we stopped to we do a bio break. Mm-hmm. And I grab a couple of
honey buns
snacks.
Or whatever.
Yeah, I grab an apple pie and some blueberry frosted donuts. Hello. And I'm good to go. We get there and it's still like misty, miserable, rainy shit. And we get in, Matthew and I get through the security and we just walk right through.
Yeah, like somehow they didn't even check your ticket or anything.
Nobody even looked at us. We just walked right by, expecting there was going to be some sort of like actual. Hey, please don't eat my chair. Expecting that there was going to be some sort of an actual, like
another ticket guy further down the line or
but
something.
Instead, there's just like 4 dudes with iPhones trying to scan people's shit, and it was very
disorganized.
half-assed.
Yes. I got stuck in the line. I had to go back through the security and
you were trying to do the right thing by having your fanny pack and being all chill, and instead
I showed the security lady like, hey, check my fanny pack. You're the lady that checks it.
Did not give any semblance of a fuck.
No, well, they told me to go through. I'm showing you, like, go through my shit because I know it's gonna go off. I know, like, I've got metal in my keys or whatever the fuck was in there, but I knew it was gonna go off. Of course, it goes off. So I have to come back through, and I'm like, I told you that you had to check. You were gonna have to check me. Period. So whatever. We all get in eventually, and we're like, me and Matthew definitely hungry, definitely want a beer. You want to check out, we all want to check out the merch situation. Right. And very quickly, I can see this is not the same as the dailies that I came
went to on New Year's.
New Year's, of course, right before the pandemic really had kicked in.
And maybe that's why.
I do have a feeling that might be why. Trying to maybe keep people from congregating in that concourse area, just to keep like a limited amount of things open, which also seems counterintuitive because you've had more things open, you would have people more spread out than just in one set of lines. So, we end up grabbing a beer and we're able to get a gray hot dog. But before we do that, I'm like, I know where the merch is, and because I remembered from the last time. So I'm like, guys, let's go over here.
We'll grab the merch real quick, or at least I'll wait in line and you guys go get food.
Yeah, we'll figure it all out. At least, we got a slight game plan. So we go to where the merch is, and I'm like, this doesn't look right.
We come around the corner and just all kind of stop.
I'm like, no.
Because if you've ever been to any event anywhere,
right,
you know that there's always merchandise. And dude, even shitty bar bands have 3 or 4 t-shirts,
some pins or some stickers, or
yeah,
usually a decent merch.
something.
I have been to shows. I have held my own rock and roll shows, which we've had more fucking merch than this.
I was gonna
place.
say,
And
yeah, so
we're kind of like, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, did they move the main display? Is this like a side thing? Like, is there more somewhere else?
right, and I even asked the guy who was working I'm like, is this the only merchandise stand?
Yeah.
Is there another one upstairs? He goes, nope, this is it. I was like,
huh?
So they had two, a grand total of 2 t-shirts,
right?
one of which was gray.
A gray AEW shirt, right?
A gray AEW shirt with like a white logo.
Yeah.
And then
very boring, very nondescript shirt.
And then the second shirt that they had, even more boring,
yeah.
was teal.
Yes.
AEW. Teal with black.
Was it teal with black or teal with white?
Maybe it was teal with white.
I think it was teal with white, but a very ugly
was
shirt.
Teal with fuck off.
It looked like the shirt that no one buys that's left over in the run of merch. That like
it looks like I would find it. For those of you that know the Central Florida area, it looks like you'd find it on 192.
Yeah, or like a flea market or something. It looked,
yes, exactly. It's a knockoff.
It would not have surprised me if that would have been a knockoff shirt.
Right, like our buddy Dan has his own like screen printing shit. Like it's like something that he would make, and just try and make for a couple bucks. Not saying that he would, but you know what I mean? Like it looked homemade.
It did.
And then they had like some pegs with action figures hanging there, and I was just like, oh, okay, fine. And then I look at the price tag, $100.
Right.
And I was like, what the fuck? And then I see they're all autographed.
They're autographed figures, which okay, that's kind of cool, but not what we're here for. Like that's a very specialty item that like I wouldn't consider that general merch for an event.
Correct. Because I'm trying to think of how much I paid for like the meet and greet photo autograph thing with the Bucks and Cody and Brandy at Starcast, and like it was on the high end, but it wasn't.
It's like 150 sticks in my head, something like that.
I think 125.
Yeah, something around there.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you're not getting the figure, but you got an autograph 8x10 with that too, right? And
I got an autographed 8x10 and photos taken with our phone, and you get a quick little interaction, and right, like they're with you for
30
seconds.
Right.
Yeah, but like they do as much as they can to sort of like be as personable, and not just like, hey, how you doing? Let's take a picture. Fuck off.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, damn. That's a bit salty, but okay.
Well, I mean, you ended up asking the guy, and he's like, yeah, this is all they brought. This is all they brought in. Because at first we were like, did they just sell out? And like, no, I have a feeling like maybe it was because of like the rain. They didn't want to bring a lot of stuff in, like, or maybe they were just unprepared for this particular event. But all the meanwhile, they were sort of promoting on, it was on Pro Wrestling Tees, right? The match shirt of Cody and Malachi Black.
Correct.
That you would assume would be sold at the event it is happening.
Correct. And like they did not even have that. And I was like, what the actual fuck?
If they had one shirt there and that was the only shirt, that was the shirt that they needed to have in stock. So
exactly.
It could have actually been a maybe it was some form of merch blunder, some distribution thing didn't go down the way it was supposed to. But yeah,
it definitely could have been like supply issues or whatever. But I don't know. Pro Wrestling Tees. I knew that they were running a fucking 20% off sale. So once we got the gray hot dogs and, went back to the seats, found our seats, which were really good seats for
the price,
what
especially.
We paid.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I want those t-shirts. So I went on the Shop AEW website.
Before Dynamite's even started, Duncan is there, spite ordering.
Oh, no, because you guys got the gray hot dogs, ate them, and then you went to get beer.
Yeah.
So, like, I was just
maybe
sitting
our
at
second beer by that point, but I don't know. Because we got the gray hot dog and the beer.
It doesn't matter.
No,
in any case, you went to get another beer.
Yeah.
Be it the first or a second, it doesn't matter. It was still an adult beverage. And I was just like, I was sitting there stewing. I'm like, I really want these fucking t-shirts. My wife's already prepared for me to spend the money. Like, God damn it.
I'm going to get these t-shirts.
I'm going to get these t-shirts. So I go on Shop AEW and they're like, hey, by the way, free shipping and 20% off. I was like, okay, good. Fuck you, Daly's Place.
Yeah, you probably would have spent more at Daly's Place than you did with.
I think I would have. I think that they would have probably been like 35.
Yeah.
At the venue, because you got to do a venue cut. Like, venues get a cut of the merchandise, so it's always more expensive.
Yep.
And especially bigger venues like that.
No, 100%. So that was the first kind of disappointing thing. But during all of that, the dark match that there were a few, we actually missed a couple of them that were, it seemed like they were just quick squash matches.
Dude, super quick.
Like
we missed
2 minutes of Brian Gage destroying someone, and I forget who else, but the
Jungle Boy.
Yeah, Jungle Boy. I was a little sad that I didn't get to participate in the in the Tarzan Boy theme, but that is what it is. But the one match that we did see the majority of, or if not the entirety, was the Lucha Bros against the Seidel brothers.
I think we only caught the end of that.
Maybe we did just catch the end, but from what we saw of it, yeah, we did just catch the end of that. That was when we were just getting to our seats. But from what we saw of it, it was actually really cool. I love Alex Abrahantes doing his thing. I've been talking him up for a while now. I think he's such a great addition to those two. So that was really cool, and I think that is the match that would have played on Dark tonight, if I'm not mistaken, because they were advertising that, and I can't, that would have had to have been the match that they were doing tonight. But excuse Duncan while he's taking care of Jumpin' Jack Flash over here, his dog. He's trying to keep him quiet. He's bribing him before he goes full heel.
Sure was. He was starting to whine, so it was just like, wait.
And he'll get better.
Yeah, he will. He will. I don't know. He's still a puppy. He sleeps a lot. He's got a lot of puppy energy. So we're just trying to work with him. So bribery.
Not to focus on all the negatives, but we did have one particular fan that was biased behind us, who, my good God.
By behind us, we mean directly ass behind us too.
And it's and I get it. You want to yell, you want to play into it, you want to have fun, you want to yell at your favorite, the most hated wrestlers. You want to cheer for your favorites. I'm not trying to take anybody out of their moment, and I want everybody to have a good time. But it was one of those that when the crowd is settled in after the entrances, after big moves, after big spots, that it's just. Read the room, because no one else is cheering, no one else is yelling,
trying to start chants,
and it was right in my ear, and I mean
literally in between Owen and I.
Yeah.
In our ears, it's just like
absolute foghorn. So, and I'm pretty convinced that she was the type of wrestling fan that still believes that it's fully real. So she was, a very Jacksonville fan. We'll put it that way.
Very Jacksonville fan. That's a great way to put it.
But apart from that, I was gonna ask you what stole the show for you, because
Malachi Black's entrance.
I mean, it was, wasn't it? I mean,
100%.
For all of us, it was. I really like how low key it was. It's not like it had a ton of special effects. It didn't have a ton of stuff that it didn't need. It had a decent amount of fog coming out of the tunnel, sure. But really it just relied on kind of the darkening of the lights and a spotlight in certain instances, in certain poses, and then that fucking mask.
Yeah.
That
Dude,
mask.
The entrance was super cool in person, and then going back and watching what they did with it on TV, I'm just like,
Yeah, it
oh,
translates
it's
even better on TV than
Yeah.
it does in person, and I think maybe like it'll develop over time as Malachi, or just Black in general, is so great with his character development and just the way he works characters, that I feel like it can be an ever changing just kind of like thing, and I don't think we've even like scratched the surface of what this character is yet.
Oh, I completely agree.
Especially with the House of Black, and we'll talk about that as as we continue with the show, because there's so much like rumor and innuendo and all that. But overall, it was a kind of disjointed Dynamite.
It was like Matthew said, he's just like, I think I'm just cursed to have subpar Dynamite.
Yeah. It was nowhere near as good as the previous 3 or so weeks of Dynamites. Like, they were really on a roll of hitting it out the park with every single one prior to this. This felt like it was a bit of a, I don't know, it was strange because it was this homecoming thing. It felt like it was maybe kind of a little phoning it in at times.
It did feel very phoned in. Like, you have these bullshit segments with the Bucks and like the super elite and whatever, and I don't know, a triple threat match with Moxley, Kingston, and Darby, okay, fine, versus Everrise,
Yep.
2.0, whatever they're calling,
and that other guy.
Yeah, and it's just like, where the fuck are these matches coming from?
Yeah, that seemed like really out of the blue. I mean, and it wasn't going to be any shocker that who won or lost on that. It was kind of like, okay, yeah, cool. I guess it was a way just to make sure that all those guys were on the card.
I guess, but it felt like a lot of people were left off the card.
Yeah.
I mean,
Miro was cool. I enjoyed Miro. The Cody Malachi Black match again was the highlight of the night.
I think that his entrance was the highlight. Of the night,
yeah. The match wasn't anything really particularly great. In fact, there were a couple of spots that were pretty damn sloppy. Now, the end of the match was fucking badass. Like the way, Killer Black Mass and the old school, and then
the shitty heel fucking just like put on the chest, like kiss my ass. That was great.
And better that it was Cody. It, couldn't have been a better person for him to do that to.
Correct. I did like that he knocked him off the top turnbuckle into the table.
That was, if you watch that one back, it was.
Oh no! If you watch it back, you can see that Cody like pushes.
He yeets himself off that thing. That was a little bit about.
I mean, but also you got to blame Cody as much.
Oh, I do.
I do. It's just like, man, come on. Yeah. Like, you're a pro. You know how this works.
Both of them didn't really connect on that, and that's fine. That's gonna happen every once in a while. But the one of those, I'll say this: the opening match with Jericho and Juventud, also pretty shitty. Like, really looking back on it, apart from the way he pulled off that finish, and I really enjoyed the clever little finish for that with the Judas effect off the top row,
top turnbuckle.
Yeah, the super Judas effect, I guess you'd call it. And
I really liked that. I was like, oh.
And Jericho did some stuff like before that he hasn't.
He had
really...
that one near fall off the top rope. I can't remember what he did, but like.
Well, there was a Hurricane Rana at one point that he did, I want to say.
Yeah, but like there was the close call, like the near finish right before the Judas effect, where we were all really thinking that it was going to get. I can't remember what it was.
I can't remember either, but we thought that was going to be it, and then of course it wasn't. And then to have the clever little okay, he pulled that out of kind of nowhere with the Judas effect off the top rope. I really enjoyed that. It never gets old for me singing Judas live with the crowd as much as it kind of gets old for the fan every week. If you're there in person, it works, and you can't
every time.
You can't help but love it. It's just It is what it is. The finale, though, with the show ending with now Cody, this was a little irritating. Man. He took way too long. He took a good 5 to 10 minutes of the end of the show
like he always does,
to pretend that he was gonna retire. And let's be real. He's not retiring from in-ring action.
Why after that match? Okay, fine, I get it. But
if you're building Malachi, if that's the idea, okay, cool, give him the rub a little bit. Sure, I get that.
Yeah, but he doesn't. I think what they're doing with it in turn and having him come out and attack Cody and take the other boot.
Yes.
That was.
Well, he's going to prevent him from retiring because of that. That's right. The sort of thing. He put both of his boots down in the ring and all that.
No, he only did the one because he still had the other one on.
Oh, and then Malachi got him before he could. Yeah, right. But obviously the inference is that he was going to take the other one off. He gave the one to the fan, didn't he?
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I think was probably after they had gone off the air.
Yeah, I can't remember that one. Yeah, I think you're right. I think you are right.
But yeah, there was some younger fan, and he was very specific about
he's like, oh yeah, make sure. By the way, give it to that kid because it's Arn Anderson's grandson, and we're gonna get it back.
He'll bring it back.
He'll bring it back. Yeah.
It's a $2,000 boot. I'm not fucking. Yeah. Although Cody doesn't give a shit about money, so
no. But do I think we've seen the end of Cody in the ring? Absolutely not.
No.
I don't think he needed to. It felt a bit stroke the ego with the way it all went down. I hope this doesn't then turn into Cody eventually defeating Malachi Black. But I have a very, very bad feeling that that's what will eventually.
I mean, I do too. So here's where I kind of go with that is that what if, unlike every other wrestling feud, this one, the face doesn't get his win back?
I mean, it would be nice, especially with kind of how they are clearly how they see Malachi as such an attraction and a big name. This would be one that really, I mean, I don't know why they didn't just do it that night, but would have been perfect to write Cody off TV for a while. Now you've got the ability to have Malachi go on, do other shit. Cody goes off TV for a while. He doesn't have to retire, doesn't have to get the win back.
Cody wants to go off TV.
That's probably part of it too. But then, do you have, then you could have, after 4 months of no Cody, then you have him come back. And then at that point, when Malachi's more established, then you can have Cody win. But don't do it in just a regular series of matches over the course of the next month.
I think that if you're going to do it, have it be a career versus career match and have Cody lose. And then, he can be away for 6 months to a year, find some reason to, come back. You know what I mean?
And you can do career versus career while still having Cody appear as an EVP. If you really want to.
He doesn't even need to. It's not a thing anymore.
No.
It was a thing on BTE when it started, and now it's just sort of they're EVPs, but it doesn't really matter. So, I think that Cody has definitely become his father's son.
Right.
Because he just loves to put himself over.
He does.
And like make himself out to be the biggest fucking thing in the world when it's like, dude, you're good, but you're not that fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Well, if that's about all I have for our experience at Dynamite. But do you have anything else you wanted to? Add?
I would just like to say that we were in an outdoor amphitheater, and it still smelled. So all you nasty motherfuckers,
just shower before a show.
put on some goddamn deodorant. I don't care if you douse yourself in Axe fucking body spray. It'll be better than smelling like fucking onions and sour garlic.
Yeah, it was pretty nasty at times.
It was fucking bad.
That breeze rolled the wrong way, and like,
ooh,
yeah,
man. And then it's just like, oh, that's right, we are in Jacksonville. So yeah, that's all right. The Orlando experience, I feel, will be hopefully much.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they do come to Orlando at some point. It's going to be very interesting when they do. Just it being the home of NXT, the home of the second home of the WWE in general.
I think people consider Orlando more the home of WWE than New York now.
Now, yeah. It's definitely kind of like you've got the spiritual home in Madison Square Garden in New York, and
right,
then,
which they hardly ever go to anymore.
But this is the basis of operations, really.
I mean,
when it comes to building new talent, and when it comes to
yeah, they still have Stanford headquarters, but
which is rumored. I guess they're rumored to be. I mean, it was a while back. They said they were closing down or moving shop from.
They
Titan
were moving
Towers.
to a new.
Yeah, like I think now they postponed that. Now it's supposedly happening, I believe, in 2022. So that's going forward. Okay, don't really care.
Dude, it's crazy when you drive up the highway from New York to. Well, we were going to Hartford, but like literally WWE headquarters is
it's like right off the road, right?
Yeah. Right there off the highway. I was just like, yeah, I really wonder if we're going to be able to. Holy fuck, there it is.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. Kelsey and I both popped hard, and everybody else is like, haha, you nerds. And we're like, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's move on a little bit because we've got talking of WWE and NXT. There's a fair bit going on over the last week, Duncan. And
man,
have you heard about a little guy named Adam Cole?
Bay.
Yeah, this might have even started last week, but I think we talked about it a little bit last week because it was starting to develop around the time that we went to the show, and it sort of has has kept growing since then because. He was rumored to, or not rumored, but there's a lot of reports that he's had a high-level meeting with Vince McMahon. I think it was at this week's SmackDown, right? Yeah, in Tampa. So we've got Adam Cole supposedly working out of contract, who signed, I guess, maybe a 1-month extension to get him through SummerSlam as an act of good faith to the company. And now,
good for him.
Which good for him. Very, very class act. I'll support that. But it sounds to me that Vince McMahon had barely met the guy before this meeting, because all reports came out and said, "Oh yeah, Vince really liked him. Vince spoke very highly of him after the meeting." It's like. You do not realize this guy is kind of like your flagship dude on your third brand.
He doesn't.
No.
That's the thing, is Vince does not, and that's the problem, is that now with all of these during that same SmackDown, probably while Vince, dude, I have no doubt that while Vince was in this meeting with Adam Cole, he was just like, "Excuse me for 1 second, pal," and he fucking picks up the phone. He's just like, all those people we were talking about on NXT, just cut them. Do it now.
Yeah.
Or he called Johnny Ace in and pulled some sort of power play in front of him that's either gonna work or not work with Adam Cole.
I can't speak to any of that, but what I can say.
Oh no, that's all purely conjecture.
Obviously, but. How awful is it that on the same night you have all these people then getting released that are coming out while the show is on the air?
Yeah.
You had
That
guys.
was the more fucked up part.
You had guys
like,
that were on 205 Live getting released that airs after SmackDown on Peacock that were released by the time that show aired.
They were released before SmackDown had finished.
Do you know there's 4 members of 205 Live on WWE's roster page right now? There's 4.
Jesus Christ.
4. And one
Who?
Brian Kendrick.
He still works there?
Yeah, it was a surprise to me too.
Huh. I'll be damned.
Nigel McGuinness, who is assigned to 205 Live, and then feel like it was Santos Escobar.
Okay.
One I'm forgetting, but yeah, that's your 205 Live roster. So clearly they have big plans for that.
Dude, they really shit the bed with 205 Live.
So much potential as well.
Yeah.
But
yeah, dude, like the releases were like some of them. Bronson Reed, especially, like Jesus fuck.
Bronson Reed was the main standout for me, especially with how recently he won that North American Championship and how recently he was on like not Raw, but like a dark match before Raw or main event. Yeah, he did main event.
Yeah.
Same sort of time that Karrion Kross came over, right? Like,
yeah, and like how Vince doesn't see him as, like, dude, he's an agile 350 pounder. I don't understand how you can't see him as a beneficial talent to have on your roster.
The stuff I've been kind of reading in there's
on Reddit.
Not completely. And Reddit does have like actual reports on there, not just, people's opinions. But the general thought process is that there's going to be a huge change in NXT. That they're that's
what I've also heard.
That they're no longer looking towards like it being the indie darlings kind of coming over to the WWE and fitting in a WWE kind of mold. And no, they don't want that anymore. I think they really just want to build the big men. They want to build the future, Braun Strowmans, the future, Karrion Krosses, the guys that look like WWE superstars. And with all of this like coming about, what does this like if I'm Adam Cole and I hear all of this, why would I want to sign up for another contract with this company? It seems to me that he has he's got the world is his oyster, but he can go anywhere the hell he wants. But it feels to me like the worst move that he can make at this point would be to sign for a main roster contract or even sign another NXT contract, because the whole game is going to change.
Absolutely.
And I truly think that this might be a bit of Vince being vindictive towards Triple H for possibly losing the war against AEW for the NXT, your little pet project didn't work out type thing.
Right.
And now, we'll try it my way. No surprise we've got Johnny Ace back. No surprise we've got Bruce Pritchard back, who thrived with the big men back in their day. That's what they were famous for sort of building and hiring. That's what we're going to see. That's what we're going to see NXT turn into, is basically OVW 2.0. Instead of it being kind of the super indie that we loved when it was at its peak, that Triple H tried to make it into. Say what you want about Trips, there were years that NXT was the best thing in wrestling. There were years that what his scouting did and his but then you got to think this has been brewing for a while, dude. Remember when Trips changed roles 6 months ago? Remember when he changed from positions?
Yeah, from global operations or to something or two global operations. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but whatever it was, it felt like more of a demotion than it did a promotion, and it might have been kind of a lateral move, but this is to me a sign that Triple H didn't get his, like, fire all these people from the main roster, let people go. But a lot of these were Triple H's boys that he had personally scouted, personally picked out, that are now getting, the sack through the company through people like Johnny Ace and Pritchard, who were in Vince's ear. So at the end of the day, Trips doesn't have a, like how disheartening must it be for him to have built this thing with NXT to now have this all kind of just basically being stripped away and turned back into the old developmental bullshit system that it once upon a time was. I think you're going to see a huge fallout from and fall off with NXT fans that are, like, it's already started happening because their product just hasn't been that great as of late.
Yeah, it really has sort of fallen off.
And now you're releasing all these guys that could be the future of first not only NXT but the future of Raw, SmackDown, and down the road some future champions.
Absolutely, stand by for bribery.
Yeah, do your thing. But I think you'll understand this, and I think it's a decent point to be made. Is that we're moving backwards, not forwards. And that's the problem that WWE has had for a very long time. If you can't see, it's even happening with guys that Vince would jizz over, like with your Karrion Crosses, with your Bronson Reeds. How in the fucking hell does Adam Cole stand a chance? If you're Adam Cole Bay, there's one move to make. And let's be real. You fit in better elsewhere, bro. You fit in better in AEW, and your fucking wife's there,
Right. And his best friends are there.
And your best friends are there. Like, it seems so logical to me to just, no, don't take the money. I don't care what they're offering you, because guess what? These contracts clearly don't mean shit anyway.
Right.
When they can just terminate you and...
Yeah. Dude, and that's the thing is, like, I thought that contracts meant that you had to, like, that there was some sort of job security.
Well, it's like, in most sports, it would be like if I'm an NHL player and I sign a 5-year contract, and there should be some form of guarantee that if you fire me after my first year, I get 3 years of that pay, or I get, a certain amount, maybe not the whole thing, but a certain amount of that pay. It doesn't sound like that's what's going on at all here because of the independent contractor status and the way that they're able to...
90 days, you get paid out for whatever, and if you've already hit your guarantee, then you're fucked.
You make nothing. So
exactly.
So I don't, like, maybe a year or so ago, this would have been a decent decision, or 2 years ago when they were snatching up all the talent, right? But right now, no, Adam. I think, and he's smarter than this. Like, there's no way he doesn't see the writing on the wall with this. Like, when guys like The Fiend are getting, dropped and all this type of stuff. At the same time, and we've talked about this before, we don't want every single person that gets let go from WWE to end up in AEW either.
AEW, yeah.
Because that's going to hurt things as well. Now, there are exceptions to that rule when it comes to Malachi Black, Andrade, Daniel Bryan, CM Punk. Those are obviously two slightly different ones, but then you go in with your Adam Coles, like, absolutely. You go in with your Bray Wyatts or Wyndham Rotundas. These are all names that are valuable to any company, and AEW would be very silly to not explore options with.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that, and that's the thing is, like, some of these names are the ones that we've been wanting to see. We've been just like, oh, this guy would be great in AEW. This guy would be great in AEW. And now that they have the potential, we're just like, well, maybe they shouldn't go to AEW. No, fuck that. Let them go.
No.
Let's see what they can do.
There's also, have you seen any of the Buddy Murphy vignettes that have popped up?
I have.
Yeah, two of them, eerily similar to Malachi's, right?
It almost feels. Yeah, they definitely feel like they're in the same universe.
100%, 100%. And I, I wasn't one that came up with it, but there is a lot of speculation right now because we're just calling him BM at the moment, by the way.
Right. B_M_.
B_, right. Because we don't know his new potential name, but a lot of speculation that he might be going because his no compete's coming up pretty soon, I would imagine. And yeah, a lot of speculation that he might be part of the House of Black.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't hate that idea. I don't hate that idea whatsoever. Now, other people have suggested that, maybe Bray falls into that. I personally don't think so. I think
that those two are too big of personalities and characters to.
They stand alone too
Yeah.
well that they don't need to. Yeah, they don't. Yeah, I don't. If Bray comes in, it's gonna be under probably a new gimmick, a new idea, and he released something. I'm sure you saw that picture where it was. Oh God, I forgot what the caption was on it. It was. It was akin to "Let Me In," but wasn't "Let Me In." It was.
No, it was. Hang on. I'll pull it up.
Yeah, but the imagery or the look that kind of was there.
It says you can't kill it.
You can't kill it, which I think it's gonna be Fiend-ish, but not the Fiend. I think he's already developing a new character, a new kind of.
It almost has a Jeff Hardy kind of vibe to it.
It does, but then if you look close, it kind of looks like that samurai, like an evil samurai type deal.
Yeah,
like
I could also, you could definitely see that too.
I think that it's Bray. It's Rotunda knows what he's doing, and he's gonna pull something out of his ass yet again, and it will, I'm sure, will be great. And it doesn't necessarily have to be AEW. If he did like the samurai thing and popped up in New Japan, that would be pretty fucking dope too. So I'm not terribly. I'm definitely not worried for him. That guy's gonna be absolutely fine in the long run. And yeah, I feel like that's another one that, and I think this for a lot of the guys that got released, WWE's gonna be begging for them back in about 2-3 years.
Oh, dude, I think even less time than that for
probably.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Like
especially when they're fully back on the road, things are really back to normal.
For now. But yeah, I think that it would be an absolute. I think it'd be an absolute travesty for some of these guys not to end up in AEW. So
yeah, and some of them, I wouldn't necessarily be disappointed if they were to go back to WWE, because some of them do feel like WWE guys. Maybe they accept that. Yeah, I got to take a little bit of a pay cut to work here, but they know what the drill is. They know they're expendable now. And maybe they go into it with a different attitude and they go in and have a better time of it. I'm not saying that's the, right or wrong, but I want them all to have a good paycheck. Really was what it comes down to. They all deserve to be working. They're like every single person that's been cut. There's not a single person you can't say that isn't a talented pro wrestler. So, I don't know. Did you see that fucking Finn Balor did an interview the other day, and he's already talking about a third NXT run?
Yep. He's just like, I fucking hate it here.
Like, how long did that last? Like
2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Comes up, rocks up, has this huge big thing. I mean, Cena basically steals all the thunder, takes it away. I still think that they might make that a triple threat. But
they could. They very well could.
But then it's so easy for them to just do Finn Corbin, right?
Yeah.
Because Corbin stole the belt or sort of the contract, and then blah blah blah. Cena took it, so you can get that sort of writes itself, and it's unfortunate because I really want to see Corbin win a lot more right now. I want to see more happy Corbin because, dude, he did a. I know you're not on TikTok, but I'm not on TikTok either. But someone reposted a little thing that they did. It's obviously with WWE's blessing, but it's him like a day in the life of Corbin. And he's like he had to hitchhike to work. They wouldn't let him in the building when and he's like showing them like that's me on the bus. That's me on the bus. They won't let him in.
It's like no.
He finally gets into the building. He shows up. He gets fined for not being in dress code. Like goes to catering. He's like I needed to have a snack. I needed to eat, so I ate. And then he's like I decided I was going to try and take some home to eat later. But apparently you're not allowed to do that, so I had to put it all back. Like the whole thing's actually really well done. It's kind of genius, and the way that they're building that character is phenomenal. Baron Corbin, can't believe I'm saying it. One of my favorite things in WWE right now.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, he's so good at that character. It's just like, oh, you fucking turned me, Baron.
Yeah.
God damn it.
And Randy and Riddle right now with Rkbro absolutely killing it. Do you see Randy's shitty fucking mustache he's got?
Oh
now?
My god, that was horrible. It's like that's sex offender registry worthy.
Someone posted a picture of side by side. Chavo Guerrero was the only person to appear on AEW and WWE in 1 week, and it's him and Chavo and Randy next to each other. In other news, Joey Janella turned on Sonny Kiss yesterday on Dark. Joey Janela being a real bad boy. I guess we got him. We got a heel Joey.
Well, it's bad boy summer.
It is. I like to see because he's kind of disappeared from TV. Like they haven't done it. They haven't.
Well,
done
I know
a lot
that he
with
had
Joey.
an injury for a while, but
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know where he's at.
But no, I want to see more Joey, and if like a Joey Sonny feud can kind of get them both on TV, I'm into that.
Yeah, they both need to be on it more.
Oh, dude, the other one that like hasn't been mentioned a ton, and I don't know how I feel about this. Like, but apparently Pete Dunne's contract is coming up soon too. Now, Pete Dunne, I don't know that he is a good fit for AEW.
No, he's a better fit in New Japan.
New Japan or Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
For some reason, I can see him in Ring of Honor or New Japan. Yeah. But I could also, in that same sentence, see him just going back to the UK and doing stuff on the indies over there again.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that too. Hang on.
And I don't know why it is 100% that I don't see him fitting, not necessarily fitting in AEW. It's just, I just feel like he would be better suited elsewhere.
Yeah.
What do you think? Is it his style or like, I don't know what it is that I just can't really.
It is. I mean, I'm sure that if he went to AEW, he would kill it, but for some reason, it just like honestly pair him with Pac.
Oh, I'd fuck with that. Those two angry bastards.
Yeah.
Who you tight? What are you doing over there?
Sorry, Kelsey is on break, and I had to fucking
tell her we're doing a show.
She knows we're doing a show.
Then we've got Elias had a gimmick change, bro.
Yeah, he burned his guitar.
He's all mad now. What are we gonna?
Yeah.
Are we gonna get the
emo Elias,
artist formerly known as Elias?
Yeah. Oh God, he goes by a symbol now.
I could see him doing something like that. Otherwise, I don't know. Like I kind of liked the Elias gimmick. Like it just was what it was. It's nothing.
Yeah, it wasn't great, but it was a pro wrestling gimmick that wasn't like
It was something that they don't do much of anymore that still
Yeah.
has its place.
Yeah.
Like the old school, it was almost old school gimmicky type shit that we grew up with.
Exactly. It was Honky Tonk Man 2.0.
Or even Jarrett, like,
I guess
beyond that.
Jarrett would have been Honky Tonk Man 2.0.
2.0 to his
So
3.0.
Honky Tonk 3.0, Jarrett 2.0.
Yeah. And and he was so good at those segments of like just getting heat with, like that gimmick can never like try to do it face. The gimmick can never really work face. Like that's a heel gimmick through and through.
Yeah, I don't know why they ever tried to make it a face gimmick. It did not work.
I just don't know what you do with him.
I mean, unless they're gonna go another like music route and like now he's a fucking DJ. I don't know.
Oh God.
He's in Crazy Town now. I don't know.
Yeah, he's gonna. Oh man. See, like he's gonna cut his hair, isn't he? And they're gonna pair him back up with Jackson Riker.
Oh God, and they're gonna be like a skinhead band.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
No, first of all, nobody in creative is smart enough to think about that right now.
Also, we don't really need that either. Like,
no, we don't need Jackson Riker anywhere. They fired the two good Forgotten Sons.
Yeah.
Like they fired Wesley Blake and Cutler?
Yeah. Did they pop up on Impact?
Cutler did.
Cutler did.
Because his girl is Deonna Purrazzo. Hello.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Dude.
I have a friend. I have
Look at Jack. Hey, Jack. Who's your favorite wrestler, Jack?
Jack's favorite wrestler?
Yeah, who's Jack's favorite wrestler?
Jack's favorite wrestler is Reggie because he likes to jump.
Oh, yeah, good call. Saw Reggie doing some good spots last night.
It was ridiculous.
Yep. How does he do that? I mean, that shit's unbelievable. Like, and may it long last that he just keeps that title. Because it's people are gonna sour of it in like another week, but I won't.
If they haven't already.
Yeah.
Some of them I think already have, but you know what? I think that he's showing that he's got a lot of potential, and he just needs to have good matches with people that aren't Tozawa and R-Truth, or go full on. Hey, get your arm off of there.
He needs to have a really good true banger with like a Gulak or something.
I suggested Johnny Drip Drip.
I think that would work great.
I think that'd be a hell of a match.
The parkour type flippy shit with them both, like absolutely would work.
Exactly.
Your boy Nick Gage got his first action figure. Did you see this?
No.
Yeah, it's the same company. I think it's Heels and Faces or something. They're not custom figures, but they make very limited runs. Like the Good Brothers had them, I think, with.
Okay, I know which ones you're talking about.
Yeah,
like that indie company.
It's an indie company, but Nick Gage is getting his first, and
I think it's the same one that made the Curry Man figure.
Probably.
Yeah.
They're nice looking figures, honestly. Like I don't know if it's that same style as the Curry Man, but it's more the Mattel style, if you will, the articulation and all that. But
gotcha.
But he's gonna have a pizza cutter. They've already confirmed that accessory will be pizza cutter, and I'm sure light tube or something along that lines. But how cool is that? That after all, like the years that he's been doing it, the story that he's had, that 5 years ago, well, I wouldn't have known who the hell he was first off, but
shit, fucking 2 years ago.
Right. But second, like to think that a guy like that could even like potentially ever even have a figure, like that's
right.
And that's got to be all due to just the exposure that Dark Side of the Ring gave him through, doing the whole thing in GCW
and the thing with Arquette,
and then even this thing with Jericho. You know, like
Oh, dude, that was huge exposure for him
absolutely.
and GCW. Yeah.
My brother, who's a lifelong wrestling fan, he's like, "Who's this guy?" You know, like yeah, I had to explain to him, and because he doesn't follow the indies, but yeah, like who's this guy? And I can't really blame him. You know, like there's a certain market for that, and it's not for everyone.
No, it definitely is not. Like it's niche, and that's why it has been sort of in the realm that it's been in for as long as it's been there. So, and I think that that's why it's gonna stay like that. So,
Yeah, and it needs to, you know, like there still needs to be that underground thing, you know, like
yeah,
because that's when it makes it more exciting when a guy like if you're a fan of that style and a guy like that does get to that next level, it you either love it or hate it. Some guys will absolutely hate it because you sold out and all that bullshit. But on the other side of it, you know, it's like you know, you're happy that the guy's getting the success he's getting. So,
dude, and that's the thing is like wrestling fans are never happy. Like they're just like, oh, this guy's great, he deserves more, and then as soon as he gets more, they're just like, oh man, fucking sell out.
yeah.
Just like, what do you want? Like, do you not want these people to make a living? Because they need to make a goddamn living.
Oh, he was so much better when he was Kevin Steen.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's that whole thing, isn't it? You know,
Yeah, it definitely is.
What do you feel about the announced match for tomorrow night with the fourth labor of Jericho? Because that was something that when we were, you know, we saw that announcement, or we, you know, witnessed that announcement from MJF this past Wednesday. We were, I think we were both pretty underwhelmed. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, why? Okay.
You know, after like kind of all of these that have been so like, whoa, you know, like all big shockers, all big kind of like, well, not all of them. I guess, you know, the first, not so much with, you know, Sean Spears, but to go from that to Nick Gage to Hooven to then go to Wardlow with
MJF is the at ringside or whatever.
I think he's special guest referee. That's what they're saying.
Even
now.
Worse.
So it like it's nothing against Wardlow, and I love MJF and I love everything that he does, but it just felt like there's no way for me that this can be the last labor before.
It's like, not. He has to do the 5 labors to get to MJF.
It's still. They still keep fucking around, though. There's still people, like it keeps going back and forth. I'm still not convinced that's the case. The 5 labors of Jericho, I don't know. Like, some people are saying I don't know. Keeps going back and forth with the conversations that I've been having. So, I
think then maybe we should go to the actual interview or like that segment.
We should. I have to watch it again, yeah.
Yeah, because that will explain it better, and then we're just like, oh, well, then we should shut the fuck up.
And it yeah, after this, like, it does feel like there needs to be the one more before it's MJF. I 100% agree, because you can't end it on this one. And yeah, I'm sure, you know, Jericho and Wardlow can have a decent match.
They can have a match, I'm sure.
There must be a trick up their sleeve with it. That's all I'm gonna say, because
yeah,
it's gonna be pretty disappointing otherwise.
Yeah, I've seen so many people that are just like, it needs to be Dean Malenko.
Dude has like Parkinson's.
Yeah, Dean Malenko and Lance Storm are the 2 that I've seen.
I'd go with Lance over Dean.
I would have gone with Lance before Hoovy.
Yeah, it was disappointing.
Yeah,
that was disappointing.
I still think the 5th labor of Jericho is CM Punk.
It's not a terrible shout.
And I think that Punk beats Jericho, and Jericho gets denied MJF.
Because of how disappointing the Wardlow thing is with the 4th, I think it's going to be Sammy.
Oh, yeah, could be.
I think it's going to be Sammy Guevara. It would be an interesting way to kind of like tie up some of the bows with that whole interaction storyline, that type of thing, you know. So
yeah,
that
I can definitely see that.
And then one thing that was also announced, I can't remember if it was announced at our show. I feel like it was, or it was announced before, but they're going to be doing a 4-man commentary booth.
Yep.
For
On
Rampage.
Rampage on Rampage.
So
at least to start. I don't know that that's going to be like the way it is forever ever, but yeah, that's how it's going to start out.
Yeah, I mean, it's being advertised as Taz, Excalibur, Jericho, and Mark Henry.
Yep.
Maybe they're just trying to see who has the sort of like chemistry together, who works, who doesn't, because I mean, Taz is busy. He does a lot of shit. He does, one of the ones like Excalibur more than likely will have to be there because he's the goddamn linchpin to the whole thing. But then he does
Excalibur is the best commentator in the game right
now. He is. Yeah.
So,
but you can't.
And I've been saying that for a few years, and I think I was a little bit ahead of the curve on that.
You were.
But I definitely think that Excalibur is just like he is what JR used to be.
I think for a lot of people, it was just hard to get over a commentator in a mask, to begin with.
But what's it matter? You don't see them.
Yeah,
his face 90% of the time.
I know, but I think that was definitely something that was holding a lot of people back. But I hate to say this, I can't see Mark Henry being great at commentary. I just can't.
I could definitely see that.
I mean, Jericho, we've already seen him do it. We know he's always gonna be Jericho, and he has a place there. But again, maybe not an every week type thing. And then I also just think, like, honestly, to me, the Rampage crew should have just been Excalibur and Taz, maybe with Mark Henry, or Jericho every once in a while or something, like Jericho or Mark Henry every once in a while. We'll see, but a 4-man booth just sounds clunky. It's like when we do a 4 or 5-man show here, at Ohno radio show. There's only so much like space for the voices, right? Like there's only so much time that people can have to get their shit in, and sometimes it's easier just to let it breathe and have a 3-man crew or have a 2-man crew or whatever it is, right? So that's just one of my concerns. I'm interested to see what they do with this week's Rampage, the inaugural Rampage.
Right.
Because I do want it to feel slightly different. They've got to do something for me that differentiates it from a Dynamite. And it doesn't need to make
besides the 4-man
besides the 4-man announce team. Like, I want it to maybe have a slightly different look, or I don't even know what I want to be different, but I just kind of don't want them to go down the same trap as the Raw and SmackDown vibe that like feel like the same exact show, one's blue, one's red. Like
right.
I want it to feel just, I don't know, just have like, I mean, it being a 1-hour show is going to be interesting because that'll fly by. Like, only so much you can get in there. Is it going to be a lot of shorter matches? Is it going to be, because what are you going to do? Have 2 20-minute matches in a 10-minute match, or 5-minute, or a couple of 5-minute squashes? Like, there's only so much time on a show.
Dude, an hour is not a long time at all.
That's enough for 3 matches, really.
3 short-ass matches.
Yeah.
Because you still got to do commercial breaks, and you have to do intros and all that.
So, yeah, there's not, do you foresee in your own head that they probably make Rampage a 2-hour show in time?
I think they're going to have to if they expect it to be anything,
And even with just the rosters that they're building, they can kind of justify it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can, it just seems like a waste for it to be a 1-hour show. Like, why are you doing a 1-hour? I know it's a late time slot, but still.
Could you not even get away with a 90-minute show? I know it's,
I guess.
I know it's like kind of unorthodox, but if you don't want to go the full 2, but kind of meet in the middle there, I feel like that might work. Because now you're putting your, all right, so it's starting at 10, right? 10 East Coast.
Yeah.
So would get over at 11, but if like on a Friday night you could stretch it to 11:30, I feel like that's about right. I don't think you can get away with a show ending at midnight in that slot. Because
No.
that's what they found with when they did those dynamites on Fridays at weird times and all that. Like
Yeah.
it was that last half hour that really, really suffered, that plummeted. And I think that's probably part of the concern. But yeah, if you did kind of like an in between and you threw it like a 90-minute show, I think that might work. It a little more breathing. An hour just seems too short.
Yeah. Especially for 4-man announce team. I'm like, you're barely going to get through introductions.
Yeah.
Those dudes all putting themselves over.
Exactly. I don't know.
I don't either.
By this point NXT is over, but I am interested to see what they do coming up, because of course next week we'll be doing predictions, because we've got a lot of predictions, because we've got TakeOver and SummerSlam.
Yep.
And they're reversed, right? SummerSlam's going to be on the
Saturday.
And then TakeOver on the Sunday. Are you in the same mindset as me that they kind of have to put the belt on Joe?
I think so.
He would be what, the first 3-time?
I don't know.
I think he would be the first 3-time NXT champion. And with Karrion Kross kind of being prepped for the main roster as it is anyway.
Yeah.
What better guy for Kross to lose it to? And also moving forward with NXT sort of changing gears, what better guy to kind of lead the pack, I guess,
yeah,
than
I
Joe.
completely agree. But that goes against them wanting to put
younger
over
talent.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Like, well, either, no matter how you look at it, it's contradictory, really. Like, it's all fucked. But we're just gonna have to see how the whole NXT thing shapes out, because we also don't really have a time frame for it. Like, I think it's gonna start happening real soon.
Yeah.
Simply because of the releases. Like,
I think you're right.
Because, like, how much talent do they have left to work with? Like, they're gonna have to.
I mean, they have a lot, but like, none of it that's really established yet. Like, they're gonna have to start shoving all these people on the fucking on the air real quick.
Well, and even guys like, I understand they've been doing a lot with Swerve, and Swerve is great, but the casual fan has no idea who Swerve is.
Right.
And if you are trying to, like, maybe they don't want the casual fan. Maybe it would be better for NXT at this point, and I doubt they do this, but maybe it would be better if it were to take a step back and go to being a Peacock exclusive or a network exclusive show again.
I think that would do it a whole lot better, but USA is already mad because of the budget cuts, quote unquote budget cuts. But like, they're already mad about that. I can't see them giving up the whole damn show.
I had a weird idea, and it sort of relates to old school WCW. And I thought about this. What if you had a standalone NXT show that was on the network or on Peacock, but then you also had, much like they did with the cruiserweights on the first hour of Nitros back in the day, what if you had the first hour of Raw become NXT? Now, because we've all along complained that Raw is so boring as a 3-hour show, now that sort of like cuts that a little bit. That helps gain interest into Raw again. You have a fresh first hour, and then with maybe some more younger guys, maybe some high flyers, maybe, and then you have the regular Raw. But then, if you want to, you can still have an NXT 1-hour show on a network.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it either. I just, like, I don't know.
We don't know how I don't know how TV works and advertising dollars and all that shit. So I'm sure that's probably the biggest hurdle.
I'm sure it's always going to be the biggest hurdle. I don't know, man. It really feels to me like we've seen the end of the good NXT, and that makes me really sad.
Yeah.
Because like good NXT was so good. Like so good.
Triple H is all elite, bro.
I mean, maybe.
Wouldn't that be something though? Like if Trips just said "fuck it" and he went and started his own thing, or he, never say never. It's wrestling.
Never say never. I don't know, man. So apparently they're doing a 3 stages of hell match for Gargano or not Gargano, but for Cole and O'Reilly.
Okay.
So it's a 2 out of 3 falls. Each get to pick a stipulation. Regal picks the final one.
Ooh.
So, yes. So O'Reilly picked a straight wrestling match for the first fall. Second fall is a street fight. And the third fall is inside a steel cage.
That's Regal's call, the steel cage.
That's Regal's call, yep.
And you will sign a goddamn contract, Adam Cole, or else we're never letting you out of the steel cage.
Correct. You are correct.
I mean, that'll be good. That'll be good. And I hope if he does leave, obviously Cole will do everything in his power to make Kyle O'Reilly, look like, $1 million. And, one guy we never talked about, Bobby Fish being released.
Oh, yeah.
What?
That was kind of a shocker.
He's a little older, though, is he not?
Yeah.
I want to say he was in his early 40s.
I think you're right.
And I felt like, I feel like he's obviously still got some gas in the tank, but he might be one to go, I would say, back to Ring of Honor. He was in Ring of Honor before, right? I feel like he was. If he wasn't, then my apologies.
Yes. No,
but,
I think Ring of Honor, and I know PWG.
PWG, so yeah, it would make sense because those guys worked a lot, those same shows. But again, another one that I don't know would fit in AEW. Like he's in the Pete Dunne area, area for me. Yeah, that would be a good snatch for Ring of Honor.
He doesn't, dude. He doesn't feel like a good snatch for Ring of Honor, absolutely, but he does not feel like All Elite for sure.
Yeah, and it's weird because like with some of these guys, it's not like I'm saying anything about their skill set or their talent or anything or even their characters. It just for some reason there are more people that work on this roster and not that roster, and yeah, Bobby Fish is definitely one that I can see not going over particularly well in All Elite. Like, I felt a bit like this when Ethan Page showed up in All Elite. Like, I like Ethan Page. I think the guy's incredibly talented, but I'm not sure he's right for AEW. I actually think Ethan Page would have been a better fit for NXT.
I think he would have been. But yeah, I think that Ethan Page, once he gets the opportunity to showcase what he is really capable of, I think that he'll fit in a little bit better.
I think they tried to do that a bit with the Darby feud, and they almost got there, but they never quite did. Like they needed to go a bit more into their history, I want to say.
Yes.
Give me 2 secs. I want to pull some real quick.
Okay. Yes, I am going to continue talking, but I think that for some reason I don't know why the Darby and Ethan Page feud didn't click as well as I think that everybody else thought it was going to, myself included.
Yeah.
But it just really kind of fell flat, and I was sort of disappointed in it, you know?
I feel like Darby, as good as he is a bit one-dimensional.
I think Darby's very one-dimensional.
Yeah.
I think Darby Allin is for the children. You know what I mean?
Well, we saw it. I mean, that was something interesting that we did actually see in going to, going to Dynamite this past week. Was you saw a lot of that, and you saw like how over Sting was, and you saw how over Darby was, and there was somebody else that was surprising to me that was more, I want to say more of an old school. Oh, Christian was really over with the younger generation.
Yeah.
Like, and I guess that's mom and dad, like, oh, we liked him. It's Christian. Like, maybe it's a bit of that, but you could say that for so many others, and then why are they not like clicking with that? So, of all people, Christian, I wouldn't have Christian. I would have put for like our age group or my brother's age group, not like the tweens or what have you for whatever reason. I mean, I guess he's just that at this point in AEW. Is he just? It's because he's the penultimate babyface, or
I think that, and because he gave the rub to Jungle Boy.
Maybe that's it. I didn't get to see because we weren't in our seats for Jungle Boy's reaction, but I can imagine that Jungle Boy probably has like a huge kid fan base, right? Like, yeah, that would make sense. Yep. Sorry, I'm just pulling something up real quick just to end the show with. We haven't played this in a while, Duncan.
Oh, man, is it the Hall of Fame game?
Yeah, we're going to play the Hall of Fame game.
Oh, shit, here
we
go.
We're up to, I believe, we're at 2009.
Okay.
Is the latest one. Let me go ahead and pull this one up here. All right, here. Hate the way they put it. It's the way they organize it. It's very irritating to me.
Yeah, they don't do a very good job of making it user-friendly for our game here.
No, they don't. How dare they? Okay.
These sons of bitches.
Yeah, I got it, though. I got it. All right. So we got this. This is the Hall of Fame game. If you haven't listened to us play this before, it's basically me giving trivia to Duncan and seeing how well he does with his goddamn borderline Asperger's autistic wrestling knowledge.
Yep. Not even gonna fucking question that.
So I will ask, I will say the inductee, and then I will ask Duncan who he was inducted by. And our first inductee is none other, Duncan, than Stone Cold Steve Austin.
First guess is Jim Ross.
Very good guess, but incorrect.
I mean, Vince?
Got it on the second try. Vince. I mean,
who else could it be if it wasn't JR?
Yeah, exactly. Unless it was, but like Brian Pillman, but probably dead by then, right?
Probably. Yeah,
I think so. All right, second. This one I think is probably pretty easy. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat.
2009. Was Macho Man? Macho Man was still alive.
He was still alive in 2009, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Was Bobby the Brain Heenan still able to talk? Hold on, because the only real memorable feud I remember him having. Oh wait, no, Flair.
Yep, I knew you were gonna get there. One of the most legendary feuds and matches of all time.
Wait a minute. But I was thinking WWE Hall of Fame, and then I had to be like, oh wait.
But yeah, it is WWE Hall of Fame, but they count all that stuff in the whole. You don't they? Now, this one. Cowboy Bill Watts.
Hmm. Nobody liked Bill Watts.
Yeah. Except you're like probably real old school guys.
Yeah. 2009, Bill Watts. JR.
Nailed it. You're
Yeah, I was
technically
like-
3 for 3. Because I'll give you the first one, even though you guys you got there. You got there. I usually give you at least a couple guesses. But yeah, you're 3 for 3.
Hey, you piece of shit. It's me, Howard Finkel.
Oh man, who would induct the Fink? Same. Let's see. Ooh. Mean Gene?
Yep, you got it. Mean Gene
Damn.
Okerlund. Well done. Well done. All right. Now this one would have thrown me for a loop. I never would have got this one in a million years, but you might be different.
Coco, beware.
Owen. No, wait. Owen was already dead. Owen Hart? No, Owen was already dead. Yeah, he died in the 90s. Fuck. Let's see. Coco Beware. Birdman.
We did talk about him earlier in the show very briefly.
I mean, we talked about a lot of people.
I know.
Earlier in the show, very briefly. Fuck, this is gonna be the end of my.
Okay. Oh, you're going for a clean streak here. You're going for a shutout.
No, I mean I was just running clean.
You were,
so
you
far.
were.
So all right, hold on. Coco
I do
Beware.
remember this being a big feud, but I think I was a little too young to really appreciate it.
I mean, I remember him having a feud with a handful of people, but
Okay, here's your clue.
okay.
And with the Hasbro figures, a lot of the Hasbro figures, of course, came with an accessory. Coco came with the parrot.
With Frankie.
This other person also came with an accessory.
Was it Jake the Snake?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
One more guess. You got one more guess.
Fucking Brutus the fucking Barber Beefcake.
Decent guess given the clues, but no, it was the
Hacksaw
Honky
Jim
Tonk
Duggan.
Man.
Oh, Honky Tonk Man. Okay. I
Yeah,
think it's because I hate the Honky Tonk Man, so I never
Maybe.
want to give him credit for anything.
maybe. And then we have two groups. I'm sure I'm doing these way out of order, of course, but the
Yeah,
Funks.
because I really remember the order.
The Funks, Terry and Dory Jr.
Who would induct the Funks?
Mick Foley.
Very, very good guess, but no, it is not.
Paul Heyman.
Also a good guess. No, it was none other than Dusty Rhodes.
Ah, okay.
And then last but not least, we have
The Von Erichs. Fritz, Kevin, David, Carrie, Mike, and Chris.
Like, that almost has to be Michael P.S. Hayes.
You fucking got it, motherfucker. you pulled it out, dude. That was really good. That was, what was that, 4 out of 6 or something?
I think it was 4 out of 6, 4 for 6.
Yeah, dude, that's pretty damn good. Well done. Good job. Yeah, and see, he never knows what I'm going to do these, so it's not like he's looking them up beforehand and trying to memorize. No bullshit here. But excellently played. I would have probably got maybe 3 of those if I'm lucky, so well done, good sir.
dude, I just have this inane ability for remembering, like, because the Hall of Fame, it's like, okay, it's either somebody they had a rivalry with or somebody in the same vein. So
Absolutely.
It's kind of like,
yeah, you got to make a connection somehow.
Yeah.
Like in a lot of cases, like I feel like JR has probably inducted so many people because he discovered them. A lot of like, there's a lot of stories
or
like
was
that.
responsible for like making them on commentary.
Yeah. Like that type of thing. Or I'm surprised that like over the times we've done this and over the years, that how many Vince has actually done. Like you forget how many he's actually inducted. And,
yeah.
And with Stone Cold, I mean, yeah, let's be real. I'm also very interested. I don't know if you heard, but this coming Sunday, they're releasing another Stone Cold Sessions with Bobby Lashley. And and I don't know that I've ever heard a long form interview with Bobby Lashley, and I'm kind of interested to hear it. It's obviously going to be a lot of the build towards SummerSlam to promote
but I think that like the thing about Austin's interviews is like that obviously WWE wants to touch on certain things, but Austin will kind of go where he wants to go.
And I generally. I generally and genuinely like his interviews. I think he's good at what he does.
Yeah.
I think he asks some typically some pretty poignant questions. And with Bobby, I think this could be one of those weird things. Like I remember it happened with us years ago with an interview with Roman, I want to say, where we finally got the peek behind the curtain and we're like, oh, he might actually be like a cool guy. It might have been Sam Roberts actually, but it was like a peek behind that curtain at the time where nobody liked Roman.
I think it was Sam. Now that you mention that,
and credit where credit's due, because I've never looked at Roman the same way again. Like, might not have really enjoyed him in the ring at that time or enjoyed his character, but could definitely relate to him more and definitely like, oh shit, like this guy could be the next Cena or could be the next big like thing, and I'm hoping that maybe, I'm curious to see if it does the same sort of thing with Lashley with this interview. Like it gives us a perspective on him that we've never seen. Like maybe he's more likable than we've given him credit for in the past. Like, and I don't dislike Lashley, but this could be something that, the peek behind the curtain type thing. So I am actually like relatively, looking forward to it, especially for a piece of WWE content. Notice how we're looking forward more to an interview like that than we probably are even SummerSlam.
Yeah, I honestly keep forgetting about SummerSlam, and I'm just like, uh-oh. Right,
yeah. It's coming, obviously, a week this weekend. It won't be a terrible show. I'm sure, like, for the most part, WWE's pay-per-views, they typically deliver something. They're maybe not great start to finish, but they've done a pretty good job with their specials and their pay-per-views over this last, even just through the pandemic and even before that. Like, when Raw and SmackDown have suffered, they've still kind of saved some treats and some fun things for, like, especially the big four.
Absolutely.
And with this one being kind of hyped as Mania-esque because they didn't get to have as big of a Mania as they probably wanted to have, this feels like this one's going to be pretty, I think, worthwhile, viewing for those of us that are wrestling fans.
Yeah, especially in that big-ass arena.
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be a cool visual
stadium,
whatever. Yeah, but it's going to be probably a pretty cool like visual, and if nothing else, and we'll see. I mean, there's some decent matches on the card. There's some stuff that I'm kind of like, well, we've seen that before, and it's Goldberg. But
oh god, I keep forgetting about.
Yeah, but how excited will we be if Bobby Lashley destroys him? Because
the only way I'm gonna be.
But that is something like just right there that we can get behind. Potential Becky Lynch return, or at least appearance, I think. Still don't know about that. It's definitely not advertised. You think they would advertise it or they'd save that, but I
Dude,
don't know.
that's the thing is like they want to have so many surprises for everything, but they end up shooting themselves in the foot when it comes to like actually getting people to watch the fucking show. They'll get more people to watch the YouTube replays.
I'm excited for Cena Reigns. Like, I think that could be interesting, like depending on how they play it.
Yeah.
I don't think Cena wins, but
No, but I hope Cena wins.
And that's for a predictions cast, which we will do next week. That being said, it is time that we get out of here for the night. Hey, all being said, Jack did pretty good. He did pretty good, and now he's passed the fuck out.
Now he's passed out.
Yeah, he wasn't too much of a bother. A few moments here and there, but
now I know how to bribe him.
Now you got the trick. Trick. But yeah, guys, check us out on, of course, Facebook.com/groups/Ohno Wrestling. We have a whole community over there that people, join, like to talk shit about wrestling with us. That like to, you can post your questions for us in there, like for the podcast, for the Twitch stream. Of course, if you're just listening on the podcast, follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/ONRS Live. That ONRS stands for Ohno Radio Show, which is our sister show. OhnoRadioshow.com for that. And of course, the same Twitch address. You can find us on Ohno Media on YouTube. You can find us at Ohno Wrestling on YouTube. By all means, donate to our Patreon if you'd like. That's over at patreon.com/ONRS. Duncan, what else am I forgetting? Oh, Instagram over at Ohno Wrestling on Instagram. And, if you ever want to leave us a voicemail, you can do that at 407-906-6466. That being said, Duncan, what do we say when we get out of here for the evening? Woo!